Assalamu alaikum. How are you all? I hope that all of you are fine and you people are giving time to your online lectures. So students, as you know, your assessments are starting from today. So for the revision of your assessments, we are revising the chapter 8 that we recently did in the school. Chapter 8, that is Stopping by the Woods on a Snowy Evening. It's a poem by Robert Frost. So in the today's lecture, we will have a short quiz about the poem. We will just read the poem once and then we will solve a quiz to assess ourselves whether we have understood the poem or not. Okay, let's start with the poem. I'll explain it a little bit as well. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. So the poet is saying that he knows that whose woods are these. Maybe the owner is living in the nearby village, but he is well aware of the fact that he will not see him stopping here and enjoying the beauty of his snowy covered woods. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near. Between the woods and frozen lakes, the darkest evening of the year. So now the horse is riding the poet is riding the horse, and the horse is very much confused that why the master has stopped without any farmhouse, because there was no farmhouse nearby. Usually they stop on a farmhouse to stay and to have a rest, but now the poet has stopped without the farmhouse, and the horse is feeling confused. And between the woods and the frozen lakes, between the woods and frozen lake, there was complete silence, and everywhere there was chilling cold, and there was no living being all around, and it was the darkest evening of the year. It seems because of the silence that was prevailing all around, the poet thought that it's the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flakes. There was no other sound, and there was complete silence. And the horse is frightened, and he is trying to shake his harness bells so to attract his masters, questioning his master whether this place isn't in on their usual route. He is curious that there doesn't appear a farmhouse. He's curious. He's trying to ask his master that whether it is a mistake or he has deliberately stopped over here. And there was no other sound of any human being. There was only the sound of wind and the downy flakes. There was complete silence. There was dark and complete and deep silence, and even the sound of downy flakes is audible. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. That the woods The poet is saying that the woods are attractive and they are dark and deep. That they are dark and deep means that he was totally engrossed, absorbed in the beauty of woods. But he has to move on because he has a number of worldly tasks to perform, and he has a number of things to go, a long journey before he goes to sleep. Sleep is associated with death over here, that before his ultimate destination he has to go a long way. The poet has repeated the last line. What was the purpose of repeating the last line? That the poet is emphasizing the fact that however, how much, whatever, how much we are absorbed in the worldly affairs of our life, but one day we have to go in the lap of death. So this is the poem that we have already discussed in the class, and now what you have to do, you will just go through the poem once honestly, and then on the next slide we have some questions. So be honest to yourselves that you're not gonna uh, consult the poem again, and you will answer the questions. These question answers are to check the understanding level of you people, that whether you have understood or not. Okay, let's start. One, two. Does the house belong to a man or a woman? So, whose house was that? Was it a man or a woman? Okay, answer the question. Where is the house? It was in the woods, village, by the road, or there was no house. Number three. Why does the narrator stop by the woods? To hear the harness bells, to see the woods fill up with snow, to see the fires burning, or to see the stars twinkling. Think about it. You don't have to look at the poem again. Be honest. Number 4. What must think it's square to stop? A little dog, a horse, a little cat, or a little fox? What isn't near? The road, a fire, a farmhouse, or the village? Insert the missing word. Between the dash and frozen lakes, between the woods, road, village, or creek. Is this line correct? The coldest evening of the year. Yes or no? Then what's the correct line? Who or what gives his harness bells a shake? A little mule, a little cow, a little pony, or a little horse? Why does he give his harness bells a shake? To hear the glittering bells, to hear the sound echoing in the woods, to ask if there is some mistake, or to see the glittering bells. Number 10. There is no other sound but the harness bells. Is it? Or there was any other sound as well? Okay. Is this line correct? Of easy wind and downy flakes. Yes or no? What is missing word? The woods are dash, dark, and deep. Think about it. Oak. The narrator can't stay in the woods because he has promises to keep. Was that the reason that he wasn't able to stop, although the woods were attracting him? True or false? Next, what other reason can't the narrator stay in the woods? Because he's tired of waiting in the woods, because his little horse is getting impatient, or because he still has miles to go, or because he is getting cold. Think about it. You don't have to go through the poem again. You will not consult the poem. And the last line is repeated how many times? It's not repeated at all. 3, 2, or 1. Now think about it. Solve the quiz honestly without consulting the book. So you don't have to consult the book. And now check your understanding of the poem, that how much you have understood the poem. In your paper section B, you'll have these type of short questions about the poem from within the poem. So it will be a help for you people to prepare that part of your question. Hope you have understood. Still, if you find anything confusing, if you want to ask me anything, you can ask me in the comments and I will reply to your comments, inshallah. So take care of yourselves. Best of luck. That's all for now. Okay, students. Allah Hafiz.